I just love Kansas, from its sunflowers to its wheat fields to the prairie dogs to the bison roaming. But I want to celebrate Kansas in a different way. Will you come celebrate Kansas's birthday in style with me? Come on! That's so much better. Let's go! If you've ever been to an ocean before, you know how amazingly beautiful it is. It has amazing shoreline, wonderful wildlife, so much to explore. But did you know? Our own state of Kansas used to be covered by an ocean called the Western Interior Seaway. We have an amazing scientist from Kansas named Mike Everhart who helped us discover all about that. Now let's go do an experiment to discover more. Since we know Kansas was covered by an ocean over 70 million years ago, there's evidence that it was there. There's these awesome rock formations in western Kansas. There's 3 of them: Little Jerusalem, Castle Rock, and Monument Rocks. Now let's observe some rocks that are in the layers that we see. There's layers of sandstone, shale, and limestone. These are all sedimentary rocks that have layered over time as the ocean receded, and we can find amazing fossils inside those layers. Now, let's make a model of what that would look like, and then we can observe how scientists take a sample without disturbing the whole rock formation. For this experiment, all you are going to need is 3 different colors of Play-Doh or clay, whatever you feel like, some beads or sprinkles for your fossils, and then a cool boba straw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my first layer here, yellow, and I'm just going to press it down into my little tiny nacho cup. Oh, I forgot to mention, you might need some cups. I don't think you want to just do it on your table, but you can if you feel like it. And then I've got these really cool tiny beads. Oh, some are trying to escape. And I'm just going to add fossils. You can add them wherever you want. These fossils are easily found in these rock formations, which is really cool. Next, we're going to take our orange layer of Play-Doh, which is representing a newer layer of rock. And we're going to just press it down into our cup like so. I'm going to get some more fossils. And every layer doesn't need to have the same amount of fossils. They don't need to be in the same location. I'm actually going to press these ones down a little bit. And then we have finally our red layer of Play-Doh, which represents the newest layer of rock, which is our top layer. All right, and I am not going to add any fossils because usually you don't find fossils on our top layer. So our cup looks kind of like this. You can see all the different layers right here, and each person's going to look different. Every rock formation in Kansas also looks different. Now, to take a sample, like scientists do, we're going to use a straw. Obviously, scientists don't use straws, but they take what is called a core sample. So what that means is they take just a big sample through the middle, and then they're not disturbing the whole rock formation. So to do that, straw, press it all the way down into the bottom. I'm going to flip this over so you can actually see the straw poking through here. I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3 twists. I'm going to pull it straight up, and then you have this awesome sample right here. And just by looking at it, I can tell I don't have any fossils, but that's okay. Something else you can do is squish it just a little bit and pull it right back out. And you have your awesome sample. You can put it back in, and then you are done. All right, explorers, let's go learn something new. Kansas is home to an amazing group of people who help feed the world. They're called farmers. They're responsible for making things like cotton, hay, soybeans, and wheat. Now, who wants to do an experiment where we turn wheat into flour? Come on! As we talked about, Kansas produces the most wheat in the world. Kansas produces enough wheat every year to make 36 billion loaves of bread. That's a lot of bread. That could feed every person on the earth times about 3 to 4 right now, which is amazing. Now, before our awesome flour mills were invented where we could make flour easily from wheat, people did it by hand. Let's try it out. I've got my handy mortar and pestle here, and I've got some wheat seed. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in here. Then we're going to crush it up. Now, this is a harder process than it looks. See some wheat flying there? That's okay. But as you can see, This process is going to take me a long time, which really makes me appreciate what our flour mills do for us now, to be able to take this, turn that into flour that we use to bake lots of different things like pizza, cookies, all those yummy things that we eat. So if you see a farmer, thank them. Now, let's get back to our roots. Kansas is home to many unique species of plant, like the little and big bluestem that you see over here. The little bluestems even are Kansas state plant. And Kansas has amazing scientists like Joy Ward and Joseph Thomason who studied plants for a long time. But have you ever wondered, how do these roots get water all the way up the plant and get it nutrients? Well, let's go to the lab and figure it out. Now, we've talked about how Kansas has some amazing and unique plants like the big and little bluestem. And we looked at those awesome roots that went all the way down in the ground. I always was curious of how does that water get all the way up to the top part of the plant? Well, it's this cool thing called capillary action. And it's using cohesion and adhesion inside the plant to get water all the way up. Now, we can demonstrate this and visually see it if we use the supplies here in front of me. You'll need some food coloring, and I would specifically buy baking food coloring because it has this special sugar that helps get the coloring all the way up the plant, some celery or some white carnations, cups to place your water right here in along with the food coloring. Let's try our white carnation first. So all you need to do, add some water, and then pick out your color of food coloring. I think I'm gonna go with fuchsia this time. Add in a few drops. This food coloring is a little bit more thick than the kind you get at the grocery store. So what I like to do, once I put my flour in here, I like to stir it around and mix it up. And then we'll set it like this, and then you'll want to let it sit overnight. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with our celery here. I'm gonna add water to my cup. And then I think I'm gonna go with blue. This beautiful sky blue. I love the Kansas sky when it's that gorgeous blue color, so let's do that. And then we'll do the same thing again. We will mix it up. You see that beautiful blue color right there. And then I have some that I did overnight last night. Let's see what happened. Oh, would you guys look at that? Look at this gorgeous blue carnation. Oh my goodness. So what happened is that food coloring and water went all the way up the stem into the petals using capillary action. The same thing happened with my celery. I used a fuchsia color, and you can see here in the leaves that there's a fuchsia color, and you can see it all the way up the stem. All right, guys, let's go back to Design, Build, Fly and learn about wind energy. Chicago might be known as the Windy City, but I think we can all agree that Kansas is a really windy state. Now, there's some amazing scientists like Christine Akins who have looked at taking the wind that is produced here in Kansas and using it in a renewable way. Let's go to the lab and learn about wind turbines. If you've ever driven around the state of Kansas, you may have noticed a life-size version of one of these. This is a wind turbine. If you want to see actual shots of wind turbines and other amazing shots of the beautiful state of Kansas, come see our new dome movie, Kansas: An Immersive Dome Experience, now playing in our Digital Dome Theater. Let's take some time and look at our miniature version up close and see what makes up a wind turbine. We've got our base here. Of course, you've got to get it high enough in the air. Then we've got these amazing blades. Do you notice what shape they are? They look kind of like a triangle. They also have an angle right here. That way they can catch the wind. Kansas has a lot of wind, as we talked about earlier. All right, let's turn our fan on here, see if we can get it going. Oh, I might have to help it a little, but that's okay. Here we go. And we're gonna see, oh, it does. It lights up back here and gives us enough energy that we know it's producing a good amount of electricity for us. I'm gonna turn this off and look at how it slows down. That's pretty cool. A fun fact is Kansas's energy, 41% comes from wind energy. And it's a beautiful renewable resource that we want to keep investing in. Welcome back to Design, Build, Fly. We're here to do our last experiment. I can't do it in the lab. I have to be here in our amazing exhibit. Now, Wichita is known as the air capital of the world, and that is because of people like Lloyd Stearman and Clyde Cessna. They helped make our city what it is today with airplanes. And one of the biggest things we need to do when we test airplanes is use what's called a vertical wind tunnel to test lift. Now, you can't quite do this experiment at home, but I'm going to show you how to do it here if you ever visit Exploration Place. We're going to make a device that hopefully will go up through our wind tunnel and out. All I need is some cool paper clips, scissors, and some pieces of paper. All right, to start, I am going to make a T shape with my paper. I'm going to cut out a T. We're going to see if this will give us the lift that we want. Now, airplanes have to overcome this cool force called gravity. And gravity, if you know, is pretty powerful. So they have to have a lot of lift, but they also have to have thrust and other forces to overcome that gravity and get up off the ground. Fun fact, we talked about wind earlier. I don't know if you knew this, but airplanes have to fly into the wind so they are actually able to get lift. If they tried to have a tailwind, they wouldn't get up in the air. Okay, now I have my little T here, and then as you've seen, I've cut a slit here. I'm folding one piece over this way, and one piece the opposite direction. We're gonna see if it'll go through our vertical wind tunnel. So let's go. Now it's time to test my device. All right, maybe it's gonna, yay, it worked, awesome. Oh, all right, now I'm gonna grab it here and I'm gonna see if it will get lift with a paper clip attached to the bottom. Now remember, friends, failure's okay, it's how we learn. Let's test it. Oh man, look at that go, yay! Oh no. I think I might have failed. We'll see if it comes out. But if it doesn't, that's okay, guys. It's really okay to fail. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this epic Kansas day, and I can't wait to see you at Exploration Place.